Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, today I will be going on school campus for haven't been on school roughly about the last 6 to 8 months. I think I haven't been on school campus. So, today we will be going on school and I will taking you guys with us. So, today we're supposed to be having a work seminar. So, I'll be taking you guys through the process of the work seminar so you guys could get acquainted as to what's happening today, what's the process of when you go out there to get a job, and so forth. So that's what we are doing today.
Right there to dispose of the wipe once you finish sanitizing your phone. Then you use that same phone. There's a barcode that is displayed. Not a barcode, a QR code. There's a QR code that is displayed right there on the reception desk. And you simply turn your camera on and scan that code. When you scan that code, that's what gives you the total restaurant menu. So no longer do you have to have a physical menu because of the touch points. So now you have the menu on your phone. Alright? You can scroll through, of course, and do all you do and make your decisions as to what you choose to order. Of course, the cocktail menu is there as well, and wine list, if you so desire. You're, of course, seated accordingly, and the menu is taken. The order is taken. When the order is taken, we can do two things with the order. We can either stream the order through some of it, with a tablet, or, of course, we can go the manual way of writing up the order and then taking it to the kitchen. So there are two ways. Right? And that's kind of how we would have evolved into technology with COVID as it relates to services in the restaurant. Of course, all the little other important details of the service that you already know. And guess what? What you know and what you were taught, when you go to different organizations, you will have to learn what they are teaching again from scratch. So that's a process of the restaurant as we go, as we have it. With that, let's talk a little bit more about awareness. The reason why I pull out awareness is because what we over time would have realized is that if I should ask everybody here, do you know what's a healthy meal? What constitutes a healthy meal? You should be able to tell, right? True? Would KFC work?
No.
Some people say yes, some people say yes or no. And each company will have their own standards. Your learning institution has its own standards that it would have taught you. So what you have done, you have learned how to learn. And you have learned how to interpret, and you have learned how to put that into an exam and presentation and all this kind of stuff, right? So that's your learning process. So by virtue of learning how to learn and how to replicate some of it and how to apply creative thinking to it, when you go to an organization, the idea necessarily is not to try and impose on them what you have learned. The idea is to, with your knowledge of what you have learned, to learn again, what they are teaching. If there are opportunities to contribute to that process positively, then you will obviously add to the process. Right? So that's the whole connection between the standards that the companies will carry and the awareness that you need to have of those in order to incorporate them into your everyday function within that workplace, to make that workplace a sustainable workplace, so that it continues to operate and can hire more people. But then the becoming part for me is so important. It's so important because, let me say this. The other day I was having a meeting with a group of people. We are having, for my team, a particular department. We're having some challenges with service. And when I went there, of course, like always, they're like, oh, well, feel like when everything is bad, we have these meetings, we complain. We have the meetings because something bad happened. You could say no good things all the time, but when something bad happens, they have a meeting. Oh, I feel like I'm going to get beat up. But the thing is, in communication, I said, well, I have done all I can do. We have done our best. And still we are having challenges. I said, well, that's where we differ. Because my best yesterday is not my best today. And my best tomorrow will be better than my best today. So I am always becoming better at what I do once in my life. If I'm dead, then obviously I'm not becoming better. I'm becoming earth at a point in time. But once I'm alive, I'm becoming better. And that's the thing. One of the problems we have a lot of times, graduates and students and people with lots of experience and all of these things, is that they would have learned some things and they hold so fast to them that they stop becoming. They already are. And sometimes students come and think they already are because they present a piece of paper. You're not yet. You're always becoming. So the process of becoming aware of the industry standards is a process of you understanding that you first have to humble yourself, knowing that you are a part of a bigger picture, knowing that there is always more to come. There's always more to learn. There's always more to see. There's always more to be. Which is very important. Because everything is changing. If it is that all the businesses decided that, well, we have our own way of doing things, and we're not going to change it. COVID or no COVID, we're just going to do business this way. What do you think of that? Or they shut down because government gave them like anyway. Because you had to prove that you're able to operate in a new atmosphere in order to stay open. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies, when they were putting their hands on their head and worrying about COVID, what's going to happen, oh my God, what we were doing? We were creating a program called Purely Palace. Purely Palace was a preparation for whenever there was a reopening. So when we launched Purely Palace, some of the information that is embedded in that become guidelines for government operational principles. Governments used what we put in place as part of their guidelines. Because we didn't wait around. We got right on it And we, because we are always becoming as a company, that's why we change from telling people learn 5,000 standards to say learn 5 core things and then learn the area that you're in. Because we're always becoming, and you as students, as young professionals, must always see yourself in that light, as always becoming. If you see yourself in that light, you will always seek out the information to learn it, and learning means putting it into action, thinking it through, and then understanding what to do. And then by all means, the industry standards will be second nature to you. So, to close in terms of this part, and of course I'm open for questions and answers, hospitality will always be changing. Technology is changing, lifestyle is changing, we have pandemics, all these different things that will always happen. The question is, how do we get to the stage where we are able
To adapt.
adjust, to learn, to be aware, and hold our standards? The reality is, one thing will never change in hospitality, and it's a customer service in hospitality. Everything we do has to do with that word hospitality.
The housekeeping department, all the departments are going to have some rules that must be followed, some standards that are set. All right? If it's making a bed, there's a standard. If it's going to the dining room to serve your guests, there's a standard. Correct? And you must follow them. Before you go into the industry to work, you do what is called an orientation, right? That period of orientation, be it 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, is for you to learn and know the standards, right? So if you go to Sandal for orientation tomorrow morning and you go to Rio the next morning, you may find that you have 2 different sets of standards, right? And that is what they want to achieve in their organization. That is their ethical principles. Because at the end of the day, their job or what they want you to do is to please the guests, right? Because remember now, in the hospitality industry, the guest is always right. So ethics can be defined as standards or principles or morals that you need to follow, okay? When you think about ethics, you think about rights, fairness, responsibility, your conscience. You have to be careful of that word. Your conscience, because you can't just because you think it's right, right? Because what is right for you may not be right for the company, right? And you have to do what the company wants you to do, okay? Honesty, morals. Anybody can tell the difference? There's a slight difference between morals and ethics. Anybody want to try? Difference between morals. What are morals?
Well, something that you live by.
Yes, you want to explain a little more? A little bit more? What are morals? Anybody want to help her? She's correct in a sense. Yes, she's saying traits of an individual. What and what did we say ethics were? Right. So one that moral will be something that you grow up with. Grandma teach you to go to church. Grandma said don't wear pants, right? Grandma said must not steal. But ethics now, while similar but somewhat different, when you go out there to work, you have to behave in an ethical manner. They're going to set these rules for you, and you're going to have to follow them. So even if you're a thief out there, and you know when you go to the hotel, you're a thief, you lose the job, you're going to have to start stealing in order to keep the job. All right? So the rules are set out for you to follow. So you go to the hotel and you say, boy, I don't like apple to carry home for my girlfriend, right? Your girlfriend like American apple? What's your girlfriend like? You don't have a girlfriend? All right, so most of the ladies will like cheesecake, right? And you work on the buffet line.
Yes.
And the lovely strawberry or mango cheesecake is on the line. And every day, you know, you're in the kitchen or the pantry, you see the cheesecake, you want water, not true? And your girlfriend is at home now, let's say you give your girlfriend a little trouble. And you want to go and friend her, and you see the nice cheesecake. And you take off a little piece and you say, boy, may I security your friend, right? So security now gonna send up. And the moment you reach the security gate with that piece of cheesecake, what happened? Security look in your bag, and security decide to report you to the F&B manager. And you lose your job, right? So you have to be so careful in following the rules. While maybe if you had gone out to Progressive or a supermarket or a bakery and thief, nobody will catch you. And if they catch you, maybe they just, you know? But once you do it like that, it's a problem because there are rules and regulations for you to follow, and once you break them, that's it, you're gone. All right? Next. All right, so why is ethics important in the hospitality industry? And most of you are restaurant up students, right?
Yes.
Restaurant up and you're going out to answer telephone in the BPO thing there, yes? So still hospitality. Why is it important? Why is ethics so important in the industry? Ethics in the hospitality industry impacts on employee turnover. What is that?
When a company have, like every second they employ someone,
How can that be negative? Is that negative or
because
positive?
person not go want go there, because I say, alright then if me go there, then me go lose my job and so forth, and by a quit me go get fired or something.
So is it negative or positive?
Negative.
A negative. Why do you think that happened? Why do you think some companies have high staff turnover? Excellent. Because they're not performing to the set standards, or they're not ethical. All right. So then, if you don't do that, if you don't follow the rules and regulation, you're going to leave because he's going to lose his job because of the cheesecake, right? And then they're going to have to hire somebody else to put in his place. So and it affects staff employee turnover as well as staff or guest retention, repeat guests. Why do you think it would affect repeat guests? Did you know that some guests come back to the property just to see you as a staff?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Right? And sometimes if the guest is come back, where is Charmaine? Where is, what's her name? Asanya, I can't hear you. Asanya, if you're going to answer the phone or go in the dining room, go work, you have to just be out there. Asanya, Latanya, right? So the guest, let's say Latanya was my housekeeper last 3 years. And I'm coming back to Jamaica now to Rio or Sandals, or I'm going to ask for Latanya. And when I asked for Latanya, I'm going to tell you I was fired a year ago. Why was Latanya fired? Latanya take care of my babies, then I'm going to come to Latanya. And she makes sure it's in a room nice, or she makes sure I'm well served, and you know, we develop a relationship then. And then Latanya is gone. That is going to pose a problem, right? And most times it's because of ethical reasons why we have this problem. All right, so it affects or it impacts employee turnover, organizational commitment. You don't just go walking into the, oh, yes, I go down there to work for one couple of months, make a money fee, whatever. You understand? And when you go into that organization, you see everybody doing their own thing. It's okay, let's leave this work. This work is not. You know, I wouldn't want to come to Money College to work when everybody's doing their own thing. I want to see structure, right? I want to see standards. And then it may say, boy, this is a nice place to work. Maybe I could stay here for the next 10 years. Understand? So it also impact on that. Job satisfaction. How satisfied do you feel when you come into the organization to work? Do you feel like, yes, I'm a part of this. I'm helping to build this. You understand? So when you have your guidelines and your standards to work with, everybody falling into place. Not only the line staff, no. Not only the supervisors, no, but also the managers. Everybody have to be on the same page. Not this thing where do as I do, but not as I say, and that's where the managers will come in now. So when Lasagna see me come in now as her supervisor, she's gonna run and fix everything nicely. And as soon as I turn my back, now she lucky, she can go on, me tired, right? No, we don't want that, right? And we go down to customer satisfaction. And once you're doing your job well, and the customer is satisfied, then you won't have a problem. Because at the end of the day, we need to retain our guests. We need the guests to come back. We need repeat business. And if you're not ethical, if you're not following rules and regulation and standards, the guests will just look at your business as, well, that's foolish. I don't need to go back there because the dining room is tacky. I didn't get any water. they put some stuff on the menu and it wasn't there, all of that coming to be ethical. Next. We cover customer loyalty, overall success of any organization. Ethics impact the overall success of any organization. Ethics have a positive relationship with profits and overall success of an organization. And it goes back to what I was saying. Once you do what you have to do the correct way, correct time, right, and ensure that your guest is pleased and is satisfied, then all of these will fall into place. Any questions? Everybody's good?
Yeah.
Hello? Nobody's going to fall asleep? All right, good. Okay, so let's look at the 5-step test for ethics. Is the decision legal? All right. Is the decision fair? Does the decision hurt anyone? Have I been honest with these affected? So these are questions we're going to ask ourselves as workers in the industry. Is the decision that you make legal? Let's look at accepting gifts. And the persons who do purchasing will know about kickbacks. Anybody know about kickbacks?
Nope.
Anybody do purchasing? Yes, but you do restaurant operations. No? What do you think? How would accepting gifts be legal or illegal in the industry?
It depends on what the type of gift you're receiving.
Should you be receiving gifts? And in what case? You are a worker in the dining room. Should you be receiving gifts from your guests?
No.
It all depends on.
You say all depends on
It all depends. That's why I asked.
organization.
It all depends. All right. Let's say you're working in purchasing at the storeroom. Should you be receiving gifts from your purveyors?
No.
Who said no? Why?
To me, if the purveyor want to like supply it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, now if they get the gift from the people, I feel like the purveyor stuff there.
You're right, but explain that a bit further. But you're on the right track, man. So what would that cause? Would that cause any problem?
Yeah, that's right.
What type of problem? Anybody want to help this young man? Hmm? He said it would be wrong for you to take gifts from the purveyor. The purveyor is the person who supplies the hotel with fruit and vegetables, whatever it is. And you work at the storeroom. And when the purveyor comes, you're like a bag of, it's pushed under there or you're like an envelope. It is? Or it is one that word up there, so. Is it legal? That would be illegal. Because what you're accepting kickbacks. Right? And what does that do for the organization or the company? Hmm? You're not trustworthy. You are getting your little envelope from the purveyor, right? The purveyor is carrying your bag with all the little vegetables and stuff come give you. You're not loyal to your company. You're not loyal to your company. You're not following standards and procedures, no. Because you're taking something from the company. Because now the purveyor can say, okay, this is $100 to pound to me, but so what, write $150 and give you the rest of money. So it's illegal. Get it? You get it now? Right? So when you and that purveyor become so close that person can be giving you things, you are going to report the company. Because the more you ever notice, the more you get. If you do something illegal and get something, you want to buy next time, you can get some more. So the next time when give me something expensive, the purveyor carries some oxtail or the supplier. Everybody crazy over oxtail. I have no idea why. Are you crazy over oxtail?
No.
Okay. So did the purveyor, the supplier carry it's Saturday night at a hotel. That is what Jamaica night, right? So you have the Jamaica show and the food is just Jamaican. So you know that the Jamaicans going for the oxtail. And anytime you go into a hotel, go on a Saturday night and watch the Jamaicans. Because they're blowing up the plate with the oxtail, but right? So let's say they buy a little 400, 200 pound of oxtail to cook for the weekend because